Yeah, I've been going to the ESRI user conferences since '93, and Jack Dangeman, who owns ESRI, gets up there every year and praises all these great GIS projects from around the world. This last time it was from Dubai, right?
Well, yeah.
Tremendous GIS technology, but the ones he always brags about has a surveyor involved in making it so great. HL&P, which is now Reliant Energy and Centrepoint Energy, have one of the best utility GIS systems on the planet because it came out of their surveying section. And Jack Dangeman gets it. He supports surveying industry with the GIS surveying summit every year. You know, he wants surveyors to embrace GIS because he knows GIS needs surveyors. So surveyors, there's a welcome mat there for it, and it's not a clash, it's a melding. You know, it's like there's huge synergies between surveying and GIS.
It's an interdependent opportunity that we have.
Exactly.
But we have to be willing to maybe be embarrassed, because I think that I really wonder, really think a lot about what is holding back a lot of the professionals that could really be part of the solution.
Well, before this recession started, I could see that there was surveyors, because there's fewer of us, were really focused on boundary definition. And there is quite a lot of work out there. When the economy's humming, there's quite a lot of work out there just in boundary definition. And so they probably have enough work without having to deal with a GIS. You know, I can just like define boundaries and do mortgage ties or stake roads or do subdivisions for the rest of my career.
Is there not an ethical question that you have a license? And to me, I'm not a board person, and I'm not a ruler, I'm not a judge, I'm just another surveyor. But to me, that license that I obtained after years of effort, it means a lot to me, and it really has created me to study more since I have the license, and has created a desire to go out and get more information and to stay current. And just because I can make my payroll or pay my bills, I don't feel that is as professional as I really wish that as we land surveyors got our license. You know, we do it the LSLS. There's a process. There's a ceremony, so to speak. There's a swearing in, and the licensed surveyor of the RPLS, we get a letter, and it says, and I've had many young surveyors get their license and come in and say, I got my letter, I got a number, what do I do? And I've done my best with the associations and everybody to say, hey, if we could just once a year make a ceremony and add to that. Now that you're a licensed surveyor, you're not only accountable to do really good work and hold your integrity up, you're also, you should be motivated to become part of your community. You should be motivated to attend your school career day, not because of the state of society, but because this is your profession. No one has anyone forced any student, put a gun to them and forced them to come down here to attend your program.
No, not at all. They're motivated because they think this is a career I want to do. I want to be a professional, and that's part of the duties of the profession, or any profession, is to keep up to date. I mean, you cannot service your clients in a professional manner if you don't have the latest in technology, be it medicine or law or veterinary science or surveying or engineering. You cannot serve your clients well if you're not using the latest and greatest technologies.
I know that you have, and you've shared with us, and I'm going to get a digital copy and hopefully insert it in here about the age of our profession. I know you have a lot of research that you've done on this topic for years, like you said, 20 years. Have you done any research, or do you have any statistics on the percentage of surveyors, not engineering companies, but surveyors that actually own GPS technology?
No, I don't. No, I would have thought the GPS companies might have that data, but we don't keep track of that.
Well, I don't have empirical facts and spreadsheets in writing, but from what I have been told by Trimble, Leica, Javad, who are three big players in my brain, in my world, that about 20% of the land surveyors own GPS.
Right.
And it's
That's
2010.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So, and I hope if you're here, if you're watching this video and you know the truth and you can back it up with empirical statistics, please educate me, because it's very frustrating. I've owned survey grade GPS since 1992, and that was before I ever had a license, because I could say, having worked with a chain and a transit and a spirit level right out of college, and just saying, I ain't gonna do this.
Right.
And then seeing how the technology evolved, and then I wanted to get back in it.
Right.
That was a big aha. Another point is when you talk about the survey summit, the ESRI Survey Summit has always been sponsored by ESRI, and 7, 9, 11, odd, isn't it? The American Congress of Surveying and Mapping has the role of taking that summit, the content, the programs, everything, and that's coming up next year.
Correct.
Do you think it would have a greater impact if we can pretty much guarantee there's going to be 14 to 16,000 GIS professionals, because every year that you've been, I've been, and there have been that many.
Exactly.
Even in a recession like this year, we had, I think it was
15,000.
record attendance.
Yes.
And as far as the number of surveyors, I don't think we've ever exceeded a few hundred.
Right.
Do
Maybe
you think
400.
that it would make a difference if the land surveyors showed up at this survey summit, and not only that they showed up, but since GIS is geospatial, if we could come up with a way of connecting the surveyors and the GIS professionals at that conference,
Right.
and having all 50 states, here's the surveyors from Alabama, here's the GIS professionals from Alabama. Monday night, y'all have 4 hours to communicate.
Right.
In other words, to me, I don't know where there's going to be a forum where people can meet face to face better than the CSRI Survey Summit.
Correct.
I have a lot of plans, websites that are going to be released, and I'm not doing this for ESRI, I'm not doing it for ACSM, I'm not doing it for your university. I work for an old magazine. I write articles, but that's all. I'm doing this as someone who got into this profession at a late age. At the age of 35 is when I started, and was licensed at age 50, at 45. That was 10 years ago. I've only been licensed for 10 years. But to me, I feel like that if we showed up in numbers, again, not as a confrontational act,
Right.
but if we showed up in numbers and utilized GIS to actually create a forum where that the land surveyors from each state could communicate with the GIS from state agencies, from educators, from wherever.
Right.
What do you think about that idea?
It's a great idea, and having ACSM come into the survey summit is a tremendous idea. What it's going to force surveyors to do who are interested in ACSM and the National Society of Professional Surveys to come to this venue will open their eyes at the huge opportunities in GIS. GIS is really easy for a surveyor. You know, it's just mapping and locating positions on the surface of the earth. We do that all the time. We've been doing it since we started. It's easy for us, but it's difficult for people that don't have our background. And so we can help them do this. And there's just so much opportunity there for us, for surveyors, to get involved in this. For all those surveyors coming to the ESRI conference and staying for the Monday plenary session,
Yes.
that will be a tremendous education for surveyors. I really encourage it, and I'm glad that ACSM has stepped up to the plate and done this.
Has there ever been a year that you've attended that conference that after the Monday plenary session that you didn't see people that actually had a physiological change?
A spiritual change, yes. Yes, and Jack Dangerman, bless his heart, he's really good at that. He's really good at saying to the folks, you guys are really good at what you do, and what we do is going to save the planet. You know, he's really good at that.
I mean, that's what he started the whole software,
Right.
Environmental Software Research Institute,
Right.
environmental, E.
Right.
And now it's it's into every facet of our lives.
Right.
And again, that's part of what in my crystal ball that I look at. I see next year, I see 7/9/11 as a survey summit where getting thousands, not hundreds, of land surveyors, but showing up is not enough.
Right.
Showing up with an open mind, showing up with the desire and ability to interact and create more work opportunities when
Right.
you get back home, because you're going to know where the problems are with the GIS systems
Right.
where you live in
Right.
your geography. Because with all the different land, well, they're not really different land systems. Most of the states have the section land, public
Mhm.
land system.
Mhm.
But the other point that you made about GIS people dealing with data is it's hard, but it's not hard. It's easy for them to import data and make what looks like a map.
Right.
But that's the problem.
Right.
We can put a scale on it and then, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. It kind of looks like.
And is there any liability attached to that?
And
And
the short
that's
answer,
something we know. Surveyors know liability very
yes.
well. Very well.
right.
And we can teach that to the GIS folks as well.
Well, presently, is there liability to GIS?
There is liability in anything that has a large dollar value attached to it. And as time goes by, there's bigger and bigger dollars being attached to GIS. And so there's going to be lawsuits, and there has been lawsuits related to GIS stuff.
The bulldozer house and the.
Exactly, and a car going right into the wrong one-way street, those sort of things. But what's going to be the difficult part in next year's summit is getting the surveyors to stay over to the Monday plenary session. They'll see the 2 days of surveying summit and come to that, and then they'll leave on Sunday night.
Well, the survey summit schedule is 4 days. It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
Yeah,
Tuesday.
but the Saturday, Sunday is the focus of the survey workshops,
right.
and sessions. We've got to convince the surveyors to stay for Monday and Tuesday, and that's when they'll get educated on what GIS is all about.
I agree with you, and I think that not only creating the opportunity for people geographically to meet people that they live right by but they've never met,
Right.
and they can help each other.
Right.
And if, as Jack Dangerman always recognizes people, what a better time to have thousands of surveyors in the audience, and Jack say, hey, would all the land surveyors please stand up?
Right.
And out of that 16,000, let's have 4,000, 5,000, 8,000 land surveyors.
Mm-hmm.
If we did that this one year, I think it would be a huge pivotal change in our profession, just as there has been many pivotal changes. As technology has changed, our profession has evolved and changed.
Right. I agree with you.